This is Rich. Just got off the PMs on this one. Okay, so I have a website, The World of Lycanthropy. It deals with werewolves, whether it be a medical condition, psychological condition, whether it's current events, real happenings, whatever it might be. The whole mythology, folklore, historical accounts of the werewolf. But I also include other similar events like shapeshifters and otherkin. Well, I saw a particular site for otherkin that has been defunct now, and I used their artwork. I actually used their artwork with the link to the site, and also I did a copy and paste of the front page with the link to the site. So I gave link credits and whatnot. There's a fine line of copyright infringement, but there's also a lot of fine line for the Fair Use Act. Now, I love this. I had a girl who claimed it was her artwork and showed me her deviant art file and whatnot. Okay. Now, here's a schooling lesson. If you create something and it's yours, and it can be taken from, like deviant art, photo bucket, whatever it might be, you're going to have a lot of energy, time, and money to go down, look for your photos being used without your copyright, and going after people. A lot of places that actually have pictures as a service, I forget what website it is, but if you were to look up like Mem and go to image, or Mempics or whatever it might be, you'll see a lot of the companies huge watermarks across their photos showing that who it belongs to. But here's where artists are really stupid in the modern age. Have you been to a museum? Maybe your grandma's house. You'll see a picture, a painting. There's always an artist's signature, and sometimes a date. Modern artists don't do that anymore. For whatever reason, they feel as though they're going to put it up there and think no one's going to take it. So now you can claim it's yours, but bottom line the matter is, prove it. Now, I forget the creator for The Simpsons. He did something that was ingenious. I was behind the story type conversation with a guy, and he had his initials was Homer Simpson's ear. So you'll see MG or GM type of thing, and that was his ear. That's his initials in the ear. Other people incorporate the signature in the artwork. So if you ever have a court case, or you're suing someone, you go, yeah, that's my art. Well, prove it. Well, my name's written right on it. So if a person arbitrarily takes photos or takes pics from the internet without permission and decides to fight you on your copyright, you have them. Now, this person who did a little, I'm gonna sue and I'm showing you up, is hysterical to me. One, she ain't the first person to threaten to sue me. Second, it's more than, I don't know how many times I told them to do so. Please do. I live in Southwest Florida. This person lives in Canada. It's a long fucking haul to come down to Florida to sue me in a small claims court. Not only that, but I'm in America. The Fair Use Act comes into play. Which, from copyright.gov, on the Fair Use Act, Section 107 contains a list of variant purposes for which the reproduction of a particular work may be considered fair, such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research section. Research in Section 107 also sets of 4 factors to be considered in determining whether or not the particular use is fair. And guess what it happens to be? The number 1, the purpose of character of use includes whether such use of commercial nature or if the non-profit educational purpose. I'll repeat the last section. Is for non-profit educational purpose. Now if you go to my website, what do you see? It will tell you. Our site is designed for both entertainment and educational purposes, of and for lycanthropy and related material. Ha! So here's a artist telling me that, you know, oh, what was she telling me? I don't know, hold on. I hit her with a rebuttal that was, you know, yeah. I hit her with a rebuttal and all she was copy and paste. Okay. What she told me was, she says, I'm Canadian, laws are different here, and the DeviantArt protects its users. DeviantArt's an American company, not an international company that I'm aware of. They're not going to spend any money on the lawsuit against me. It'd be fun if they did. So, this girl who claims to be Canadian has a username of Kanishtaa Naijuuk-Shiiragn. Yeah. Protects the users. If I really wanted to, whether your site's educational purposes or not, I highly doubt it does, seeing as talking about otherkin is not something considered as educational under the law. You know, people talk like that and write like that. Under the law, file a lawsuit. Again, I tell her, sue me. Why do I tell people to sue me? Because no one will fucking touch you. You will get such an education. That's the kind of education you're going to get. You know, walk into a law firm, you're going to go, they're going to read your case. They're going to go, yes, you have a case. Then if you show them any of my letters back, they're going to go, oh, no. You get me? Maybe you don't. It's going to take a lot of your money to come after my money, and I have. Even if the attorney tells you, well, we still get them for something. You ain't getting me for nothing. But again, if I'm doing something that is within the Fair Use Act, your attorney is going to turn to you and say, doesn't care if you're from Canada, Venezuela, nothing. I'm an American. I live in America. You want me? Come and get me. But that's the funny part. People think they're awesome. They know what they're doing. If you're going to do something to give yourself any form of credit, you sign your paperwork, you sign your artwork, you incorporate your name or your insignia or your trademark in your artwork. But I get the biggest kick when people want to talk tough with me, man. You know, the keyboard toughness. Hold on. I want to get tough. I want to be real tough. Here's my keyboard. It gives me courage. Rah! Bitch, please. So when I go off and I'm dealing with people who, again, and this is the second lady, I'm gonna sue. Now the first lady was funny because this is on my WordPress blogs. She threatened to sue me over an article I reposted. I said, come after me, go ahead, but I can do all this stuff. Sure, go for it, go ahead, sue. I can DCMA, go ahead, DCMA. Here's the thing, don't threaten, just do shit. They don't. I had my picture posted up. My new friend, Tom Eric Raspotnik, posted up a picture of me going, hey, this guy's an asshole or whatever. So I wrote to WordPress saying my picture was copywritten, take it down. In 3 days it was taken down. I gave a link to my photo and copyright and so on. Right? That's how you take it down. So here's one of here we go. We're at 9 minutes. I'm going to read this now. I just got it now. By the way, since I know the artist of one of these pictures fairly well, I'm contacting her to let her know that you've used it without permission. She's a far more professional and well-known artist than me, with legal rights of her own work outside of DeviantArt. I was going to let you off, but since you got attitude and decided you know better than me, I'm not sure you'll learn unless something actually happens. I was being nice because this happens often. People are usually understanding and remove the artwork, but you're being difficult, so good luck. Hold on. I got my keyboard. I'm going to be a tough guy. Why thank you. And hopefully you will be schooled yourself. Reply. This is live action drama. Woo. Oh, the bitch blocked me. She did. She blocked me. Yep. Ha! Two. Now, this is the reason why when you click or do anything, you right click and you go to another window. If someone blocks you, well, it doesn't mean that the initial page in front of you is blocked. So you get the photo of the person, you get the raw essence of the conversation. It's great. Not that's worth screen picking, but the context or the content of this holds true. Anytime someone wants to get huffy and puffy with you and they're gonna come at you and it's a legal process. I happen to have 4 years of tort experience. Let me tell you about it. Cease and desist letter. If it's digital, there'll be a DCMA letter. If you don't get those, don't worry about it. Or if it's going to be digital, you simply talk to the host and you yank it. That's what I've done. Not a big deal. Like, stuff mysteriously disappears. Well, your whole site does until you remove it yourself. I mean, you know, your host gets a little itchy like that. What else we got? If you're out of the country, American laws, American hosting company, and American me. Deal with it. So again, this is the fun stuff. I like when people talk trash. Not like my friend Jason who likes to, or John Warren, he likes to talk shit. Like, you know, he calls you names like a third grader. But when you got people out there who are trying to posture and pose and they fail. How do you fail? If you say you're going to do something, you better do it. And if you're not going to do it, shut your fucking mouth. Because assholes like me are going to tell you, sue me. People like me are going to say, DCMA me. And you don't. Why the posturing? Why the lack of nutsack, even if you're a female? Or lack of titties. I don't know what you girls use for a fucking, metaphor. Lack of a backbone? Lack of intestinal fortitude. Lack of spine, I think, is the better one. See, I don't even talk shit. If I'm really going to come after you, I'm gunning for your ass, I get shit pulled, period. And you won't know about it until, like, your site's, like, stripped of half the shit that I tell it's mine. You understand now? You see, that's where it comes from. I mean, this girl even had she had to put her YouTube video, which happened to be, this is the same girl, the artist and the video was on my site, and she turned it private, which was perfectly fine, but she thought that she wanted to have her permission to be used for the YouTube video. It's all about settings. Bottom line, if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and then you're playing catch up, forget about it. Know what you're going to do before you're going to do it. A lot of people lack the forethought, have tons of hindsight, and then after that, their pants are still down by their ankles. If you're going to talk shit because you fucked up, because your artwork or whatever is all over the goddamn country or the world, you can't cry at anyone but yourself being that fucking stupid. And my advice, yes, I have advice. Sign your stuff off. Incorporate your name and the date in your artwork. Therefore, it would take another artist to take it away from that. Take an art. And let's face it, if you make it small enough where it's not that noticeable, then you have something going on. A friend of mine who's a tattoo artist in Texas, he got, we had a little back and forth for a little bit, and I saw that he was posting pictures. I said, dude, someone's going to be taking your shit. And he said, I'm not worried about it. My resolution was like 100 by 100 or 50 by 50. It looked big because, the Facebook had it pretty big initially, but if you were to click onto it, it would pixelate. You know what I mean? So, you know, you're gonna have the shitty copy because you can't blow it up. You can't, you know. So he had his methods of safeguarding his own artwork, and he also signs his work. But like I said, when you're dealing with people out there who don't, and then you want to talk smack to me, I'll challenge you on it. I tell people to sue me. Go ahead. Nothing. And that's the funny part. They don't. They block you. She blocked me. And they hide. You know, what was all that huffing and puffing about? Intimidation? Scare you? I told her as I end this video. Oh, what did I tell her? Alright. Here we go. Quick letter, another minute. Not to downplay a person's intellectual property rights, there are many laws protecting those who use others' work under the Fair Use Act, in which, permission or not, within the guideline or lines can be used. And I give the copyright.gov hyperlink so that I'm backing up what I'm saying. For those who are in my personal group, you know what I'm talking about. You are the first to claim their work, or I told her, you're not the first to claim their work or rights to their work. The harsh reality, once you post into cyberspace, constraints are limited unless you read your host's terms of service or know your settings, public or private view of your hosting site. Long story short, if you don't, I don't worry about the repercussions unless a sheriff or process server delivers papers to my door making the huff and puff of claimants moot, and how much of their rights they actually have given up. Also, chain of creation and custody of said property. Many traditional artists sign their work. Not so many today, though. See, I'm kind of repeating myself, but this is actually in the letter. Case in point, other than posting artwork, what other proof does an artist have of creating it? In a nutshell, it takes very little to make a claim, and all the time in the world to prove it without common sense safe measures. Sign your shit. This is not more than the reality. Okay, this is more so the reality of things, be it harsh or simply factual. And yes, my site does fall under the educational purposes under the Fair Use Act. Thank you for your time. You know, the first lady threatened to sue me. Her website said, please share. She was Christian, and she didn't like the fact that a Satanist was rebroadcasting her recipes for some type of cookie or whatever it was, and she wanted it pulled. Well, if you give open license for the public to use it, you can't select who can use it. And this particular lady, she claimed it's hers. I'm not saying it's not, but what proof does she have? I don't see her name in the artwork. So if you don't use your name, you're gonna lose it. Oh, make sure it's your real name or a registered trademark pen name so that it can be backtracked to you. Calling yourself, I don't know, JK for instance, and then you say it's yours and your real name is like, I don't know, John Warren. That don't work because it don't fit the JK thing, does it? Except for the J, but that's about it. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I love dealing with stupid people. In this case, this was more entertainment than it was aggravation. But when people want to tell me about lawsuits and get huffy and puffy and get, you know, their courage. Courage. You want some courage? Here. I have courage for you. It's called the keyboard. Because people like to be tough behind the keyboard. They want to show me how tough they are. I'm gonna sue you. Sue away!